Okay, my dear doctors, we're going to continue with our R2GATE module. As you can see right here in our layout, we have 3 different tabs. We're going to start with our R2GATE tab. So, for that being said, as you can see, firstly, we have our selection of our guide type. We have the implant and the instrument. However, we're going to use today, for this explanation, our implant selection guide type. Then, once we do that, as you can see right beneath, we have the import files in which we have change main STL. In here we can change from the upper STL file or the lower STL file. That's one advantage that we have here. And as well, we can incorporate our supporting STL. If we don't need them, we can pass and go to our blockout section here. So in our blockout section, as in the previous software version, we have the blockout area. However, right now is relocated in this left corner right here on the blockout section. Once we click our blockout section, we're going to have blockout options, in which we have our set blockout direction, our define blockout area. We can reset as well our blockout, and we have the button in which we can apply our blockout. Perhaps most of you are very familiar to our define blockout area, in which we can assign or select the specific area in which we want to, just like this kind of example, we can apply the surgical guide location for this specific crown. So we're gonna hit our set blockout direction right here and define our blockout area. Since we only want one specific area to be blocked out, we're gonna start from our second molar right here and draw at will. In this case, we're gonna surround our model through our canine and towards the other lingual side of our second molar. As you can see, we have our defined blockout area. Very easily how to do it. Once it's done and we are sure that we're gonna have this specific location for our surgical guide, we're gonna go and apply blockout. Hit this button. As you can see, the engine, the progress is quite fast than before. As you can see, easy and very simple. Simplicity is what determines R2GATE standalone software. So, for that being said, let's continue. And we're gonna go to our base and frame design. As you can see, if we hit the base and frame design, right below we have the design options in which we have draw base, our draw frame, and we can undo and reset our work. However, I want to mention something very important, is that if you see this draw frame right here, this is gonna be specifically for our stackable guides, in which we're gonna have this kind of feature for our stackable design later on, incorporated in our standalone R2GATE software. So for that being said, let's regenerate or generate our base. Very fast. As you can see, the progress of our base roofing process. As you can see, we already have almost done, but not done yet, since we need to go and add ons. That is going to be below our base and frame design. In here, we can add our thickness, add bridges, add stabilizers, as we know, for much. If we are gonna rebuild a larger surgical guide, we need to stabilize our guide with a bar, for example. For that we're gonna use a round or a rectangle one. But in this case, since it's a very small surgical guide for this explanation, we're gonna select square. And we're gonna place it right here. We can move it. With our control keys, we can move it so we can have a very reliable very reliable stabilizer with this square. We can surround it like this. Make it bigger as well by pressing Shift button, so we can go from lingual to buccal, like this. We can put it a little bit lower, like this, make it bigger. And then once we're gonna only use one square. Okay, if we're sure that is fine, we're gonna go and select labeling. In labeling, as we know, we can select our name or our dental lab name, for example, or any kind of text. Right here on the type text, we're gonna select and press R2GATE SA. That stands alone. We have the text depth setting. We're gonna apply 4, and we can choose from positive and negative. We're gonna choose or select negative and then hit apply. As you can see, we have R2GATE SA. We're gonna put it right here with our right click. And once we have our text as well, okay, you need to remember that sometimes our drill core, we need to check in detail what kind of drill core we're gonna make use of. So in this case, we're gonna select the guide hole and see if we can change from narrow or regular or wide type drill core. In this case, as it's a posterior case and we already know that it's a 4.1 diameter implant, we're gonna choose the regular. We're gonna keep our by window, and we have the drill path hole here. We're gonna choose add. We have already applied the add function, so we can have a very wide entrance for our drills while we are making our surgical procedures. So in this case, we're gonna leave it like this and hit apply. And then, yes. Okay? Once we do that, we are sure about everything, we're gonna go and hit Build R2GATE. This model offset depends on your 3D printer specifications. In this case, we're gonna select the 0.02 millimeters and hit apply.